Korea is a country of couples. Like
Yes.
if you don't have a partner,
India, it's not common to openly date. Kind of considered a taboo.
Korean people more into messages. Indians are like more like late time calling. Like
late
time
like
calling.
talking to your partner in the night time for long time, like 2-3
Yeah.
hours.
That's romantic.
Like, I sometimes feel like I'm a star here. I'm a celebrity. They have not met a lot of Pakistanis, so whenever they ask me, they get so curious about Pakistan to know me, my culture.
That image of like Korean oppas, which
Oh my
they
God.
see in the dramas. How much you are that?
Me?
Yeah.
Korean Korea, one slice closer to the world with extraordinary and fun toppings. Welcome to the Korean Pizza Club, KPC. I'm your host, David Kim, and we have some guests again that we all love already. The most viewed video on this channel so far. Yeah, so please introduce yourselves briefly once more.
Hello, I'm Yukta, and I'm glad to be back. And I'm so excited to hear that our video is the most viewed video on the channel.
Yeah, you guys provided some awesome content. Everybody loves you guys in the comments. So, yeah, these guys haven't read the comments yet. So they need to catch up.
I did. I read every single comment.
Really? Okay.
So hello everyone, my name is Neha, and so this is the second time we are shooting this video. I'm so excited to be part of this video again. Thank you so much.
Thank you for coming again. Yes. And before we had some delicious jimtak and Neha loved it. It was her first time.
Yeah,
So,
first time I tried and it
we're
was
in a happy
super
mood.
good.
Okay. And
Yeah, hi everyone. It's so good to be back on, Korea Pizza Club. And first of all, thank you so much for liking our first video. And we are so happy that our video was one of, and still is one of the best video on this channel. So thank you so much for your love. And I hope you guys gonna love this video also again.
right. And I was so glad because the best compliment you can get on a video is not only the views, but people wanting to see you again.
Thank you so
Everyone
much.
was like, please give us a part 2. Let's please invite them again. Part 2, part 2, part 2. I saw like hundreds of comments like that. So I could not resist. I reached out to them again. And yes, thankfully they're here. And as you requested, we are going to touch a very fun topic today. And that is, how are your social lives and relationship statuses in Korea? So it's going to be very fun.
So
today.
relationship life, right?
Yes.
So I guess I'm leaving then. Bye.
Well, I need to leave too. So the males can leave the chat. Yeah. So kind of sad. It's non-existent for me. But anyways.
Non-existent over here as well.
Oh,
my
high
God.
five,
Okay.
everybody.
And I am married, so only relationship with my husband, so I'm also out. Sorry.
End of podcast.
So Yuki and David. Okay.
Yeah, but not only relationships. So let's start with the first question. So how do you typically meet people and make new friends in Korea?
Well, like when it comes to friends, I like usually meet them during like my shoots because sometimes the shoots have a lot of foreigners. So I meet them through shoots, or during Seoul Fashion Week, there's a lot of foreigners that you meet that are there, and you just interact with them and you get to know them. And sometimes it translates into longer friendships.
Okay.
Or in the university that I go to, that's how I make friends.
Classes, right?
Yes, in classes. And like lastly, people that I've been friends with for really long, they introduce me to their friends, and then we just become a really good friend group.
Best way, best way. So obviously a lot of people want to be friends with local Koreans as well. So like you mentioned a lot of foreigners, but how about local Koreans too?
So the thing is, I think for local Koreans, I think you have to really, if you're a university student, you have to mingle in the clubs, you have to mingle in the festivals, and you have to just go to the dinners and everything, and you'll get to know people and you'll become friends with them. But it's really common to use apps nowadays. So I know people who are living in India, and they communicate with Koreans in Korea via apps, and I think they are apps to become friends and apps to learn Korean. And so through that, they just become friends with other people. And I think the same concept of application, like it translates even into like dating and for people who are looking for something.
Okay. And what about you guys?
Okay, so my social life is not that great here. Actually, so how I know people here is because before even coming to Korea, I had my like ex-colleagues, people I knew from through my office. So that time they were working in India, but now they are like again back in Korea. So yeah, I meet them frequently, and the other Korean people I meet them like through some events, some festivals, or sometimes like through social media, like somebody's profile I like so like I message myself like, would you like to go for a coffee or
Wow,
something?
really?
Yeah, so I make that efforts also.
Oh.
So yeah, this is how I make friends.
Wow, that's very interesting. I've never done that before, like DMing someone and like, would you want to go for a coffee or something? I guess for women it might work, but for dudes,
No, I don't do it for dudes.
yeah, of course.
For the girls.
Yeah, but even if a dude calls up a dude
Yeah,
on Instagram, it wouldn't
weird.
work. Oh my god. Okay, what about you, Majid?
Okay, so let's divide it in two categories. So meeting as a friend and meeting as a dating someone.
Great,
If you want to
okay.
find someone to date. So generally, like any other country, I feel like Korea's making friends is similar with any other country. You know, you meet them, except one part that I'm going to talk about it. Mostly what happens is, like Neha was saying, like Yuki was saying. So you go, if you're studying in a university, you get to meet them in your classes, you get to meet them in your other university dungaris, clubs, and everything. If you are participating in different programs, you get to meet your managers, and then their managers can introduce to their other friends, and that's how your friendship circle increases and gets bigger and bigger. But there in Korea, one thing that I noticed was there are some language exchange cafes, and there's language exchange groups also. So a lot of Koreans want to learn new languages. It doesn't has to be only English. There are some French learning groups too, some Chinese learning groups too, and I hope someday there will be like a Hindi and Urdu languages group too. So if you join, let's say you want to improve your Korean and they want to learn Hindi, so what you would do, you can join the same group. So you would meet quite often, once in a week, twice in a week, and then you get to make friends. So that's part of making friends in Korea. When it comes to dating, like Yuki was saying, the best thing that a lot of people usually these days they do the most convenient way is using dating apps. So it's very easy. Tinder, Bumble, Hello Talk, these kind of dating apps. Yeah.
And like to add to the part where I said about like being friends through university clubs and all, but I think because Korea has a very strong drinking culture, you have to really be good at drinking. Because if you go out with these people, like with the friends, they're usually going out to like pochas and like restaurants, and they're drinking soju. And if you really want to get to know them on a deeper level and you want to connect with them instantly,
That's true.
I think you have to be good at drinking. And
Right.
I unfortunately don't drink. So
Yeah, and Majid, you don't drink, right?
Yeah,
So
I
have
don't
you
drink.
had any like challenges with
No,
that?
actually, like so far, like all the people I have met, they respect me, and they no one would force me like, yeah, you have to drink.
Right.
And in case you say like I don't drink, it's not like they try to cut you off from them. Like so far, I have good experiences.
they're respectable about it.
Right. But a lot of my foreigner friends have said to me quite a lot of times saying that Koreans seem to have some kind of like barrier with like,
Oh, they
foreigners.
do.
Like, so it's very
Yes.
hard to be like genuine friends, and they really want to be.
True.
But like, have you experienced that? And why do you think the reason to that is? Yeah.
If I were to answer that question, I think that, it's just a difference in values. Because, for example, like, because I come from India, over there, we are genuinely always looking for a deeper connection with our friends, with our family. We're like, even neighbors know each other, and they are like mingling on many occasions and festivities. But it's not common here, because over here, like, they don't really try to get to know their neighbors.
Yeah.
And I think it's just a Korean society. Like, yes, you're friends, and yes, you do talk about some things, but I have never seen like my Korean friends go into deeper topics such as mental health, their private lives, the issues they might be facing, and the difficulties they might be experiencing, because I think that's something they want to keep to themselves, because that's how the society is here. Whereas if I was going through something difficult, I would probably be sharing it with my really, really close friends here. So I think because of that, there is a barrier, and that barrier, like, you can feel it, but it's not necessarily like a bad thing or a good thing. It's just there.
Like when we say friendship, I guess it's if you guys are from Pakistan and India, trust me, the definition of friendship in Korea, or the definition of friendship that expats with Koreans have, is totally different than friends that we have back in Pakistan and India. Like, we just love going out together. We could share each and everything with our friends. You call them at 3 a.m. They would come right to you to help you out.
You're
Like,
sick, they'll come over.
Exactly.
Whoa.
Yes.
And it's not just only one friend. Most of the time they're like a group of friends, and they're all you stick with them together for a whole life. Although, like I was saying, there are different ways to make friends, but again, like Yuki was saying, it's not that easy. There are always some barriers that like friendship. It's you don't find the deep connections
Yes.
like even if you have Korean friends, like they were not gonna share their feelings openly, and sometimes you meet them once in a blue moon, or sometimes
Right,
only
right.
birthdays. Like I have some Korean friends who just meet them. I meet them on a birthday every year.
Yeah.
But I still call them like friends.
I agree with both of you. Actually, what I experienced with myself, like making Korean friends. Actually, Korean people are very conservative in opening up and sharing. So you always feel the barrier. I don't know, because I'm a foreigner. That's why it takes time for them to open up with me, or because that's how they are. Because as like Indian or Pakistani, we are very, how can I say, we are very open in sharing our feelings, our excitement, everything. Like even we very easily or tell about our personal lives as well. But Korean people take a lot of time.
Yes.
And so I have in my experience, I have not connected with any Korean person other than my husband, like on a very deeper level. So it's like just a casual friendship, but not on a deeper level.
Right.
And I'm sorry to cut you off. So, like usually like there, because of some political differences, Pakistan and India, like there are some, those barriers. But like in Korea, I feel like I have more Indian friends than I have Korean friends. like Neha, for example, she's such a good friend of mine. And just like Neha, I have a lot of other Indian friends. So for me, it was much easier to make friendships with foreigners, especially like Southeast Asian, Desi people than in Koreans.
Yeah, I agree to what Neha said, because like Korean people don't like to open up in general, and including myself and a lot of my friends, they all have like their own inner circles, and they don't like to wander outside of them. So mostly our friendships form until like middle school, high school, college. Like close friends and even college friends are like a little loose. It's like light friendships, but like the real ones are like from middle school, high school, and we stick to them mostly for like lifetime. And other than that, once we meet like in business settings, college, it's like there's a different level of that, and I can feel it myself too as a Korean. But like imagine with a foreigner, you're not very used to that person, so I guess it'd be a little bit harder for a Korean to open up and like exchange true feelings and do all that kind of stuff. So yeah, I get it. Yeah.
And also, like, the only time I've actually felt those barriers come down is when they're Koreans, but they've lived abroad for most of their life, or they're born abroad. So because they're born abroad, their understanding of Korean culture and their culture itself is like very mixed and very different.
Yeah.
So in those cases, they tend to be a bit more warmer and open to, kind of making much deeper relations as friends.
Yeah.
But when it comes to like the locals here, that it's really different. But even in university, like it's usually like from what I've seen, the foreigners are hanging out with foreigners, and then the gyopos are hanging out with gyopos, and then the Koreans are hanging out with Koreans.
Yeah, that's very interesting too, because when I see like American colleges too, it's like that as well, like Koreans with Koreans. And it's not even Asians with Asians. It's Koreans, Chinese with Chinese, Japanese by themselves. I don't know. They don't exist. There's quiet, and then like there's Indians with Indians. So it's very interesting.
I feel like it's also very easy to understand, like I being an Indian, it's easy to understand the body language of like a Pakistani Indian, so we know how much we are interfering in their lives. But being I don't understand, even though I know Koreans, I have stayed with them for a long time, but still I get confused understanding their body language, and if I'm not interfering in their how can I say, time or like their life, so that is very confusing. I couldn't understand till now.
So speaking of like cultural differences, I assume there would be a lot of like cultural barriers as well. For example, the most primary one would be food restrictions, right? Like drinking and like religious restrictions.
Halal food.
Yeah, halal food. So have you had any experience on that with like relationship building here?
Personally, not for me, because I tell my friends that I don't drink, and and they're very respectable of it. And we have like friends who are vegetarian. So because they're vegetarian, we usually try to look for alternatives and foods that we can eat with them being there, or with like the meat being taken out. We go to places that can include them as well. So from what I've seen, it's pretty easy to accommodate if you try hard.
Okay.
I guess if you're a friend, so it's not like you're meeting every day or every second day, right?
Yeah.
But let's say if you are dating someone, then I guess these cultural differences does create a barrier.
Right.
So it may cause some problems too. For example, like you are, let's say, living together or you meet quite often, and someone, let's say, Korean likes to eat pork.
I'm the
the other
biggest
per-
example.
Yeah.
Of
Oh,
that.
you are the
And
example?
I remember
I am
your
the
husband was
biggest example.
complaining like,
Actually, I don't eat meat other than chicken, but my husband Korean, and I cook food for him, but I don't eat that food.
Whoa.
But we eat at the same time. I'm eating my Indian food, he's eating his Korean food. So yeah, we are the biggest example.
How did
of
you
that.
work through that? Like through the whole marriage period and stuff?
So it's not that like we didn't know this thing. We from the starting, from the dating time, we were like that. Like we had different food preferences. But yeah, it has never became a barrier in our lives,
Really?
because
Nice.
our relationship and other things, respecting each other, was much more, love towards each other was much more like bigger
Understanding.
than the food we are eating.
Yeah.
Of course, it is easier. So it feels more fun, enjoyable to eat the same food which
Yeah.
your partner is eating. Yeah, but see, it's a choice. Like so, yeah, we had to compromise
Okay,
on this.
let's say like one day your husband just comes home and says like, "Oh, I really crave some samgyeopsal
thing. Yeah,
and soju."
I do. I make.
Oh, so he just eats himself.
No,
for that.
I cook.
You cook for him.
I cook for him.
And he just enjoys the meal and you don't
Yes,
eat.
yes.
Oh,
So
okay.
it has
Wow.
become habit. Like
Okay.
so
And vice
even-
versa for you as well.
Yeah, so we are sitting on the in our on our table. He's eating his Korean food, samgyeopsal or whatever. Like I am eating my curry, and we are eating together. But he's eating his food, I'm eating my food.
Yeah.
So yeah,
That-
I guess
That's
if you
such
just
a
take that
lovely-
one little extra step, it's like possible.
like you
Totally.
guys compromise, and that's such a lovely couple. But I know some Muslims, they were dating Koreans, and they had a lot of issues because the Muslims were only wanting to eat halal food.
I can see
and
that.
Koreans, they like samgyeopsal, let's say, and then they like drinking also,
Yeah.
but then they have to restrict. So I mean, food is part of your life, right?
Right.
So some people, like your husband, he's very nice, but some people can't, compromise to that much. So and that is one of the cause of breakups also. So
Yeah.
yeah, that thing happens.
Yeah, that could be a very big conflict point because I myself had some conflict with a girlfriend that was a foreigner and she didn't eat spicy food. I wanted to eat dakgalbi, I wanted to eat like bulldakbokkeumyeon and everything, but she was like, I can't. I'm stressed right now. I need it.
but at the same time, I know I understand this mindset also.
Yeah.
But at the same time, I don't know. I have different mindset. Like okay, he like. His food is going on in his mouth. My food is going in my mouth. So
Yeah,
what is
yeah.
the pleasure? Like we are eating the same food. Like so, I don't know. That's very difficult for me to understand.
You guys don't do like the cute things couples do, like giving you food.
No.
So that part is missing.
Yeah, we as an international couple, we lose few things, but
Yeah.
love is beyond all this.
Yeah, love transcends,
Yeah.
right? Like we touched upon like the food restrictions and stuff like that, but there's also a matter of religion as well. Majid mentioned like for a lot of Muslim people, they're very religious, I believe, and in Korea, Muslim is not like a very populated religion here.
right.
So there would be some kind of clashes. Like, for example, there would be a Christian or like a Catholic person and a Muslim person. If they were to be like dating or stuff like that, there might be some kind of conflicts. Have you seen?
Exactly. I mean, it's good that you ask. Actually, in Islam, a man can get married to non-Muslim, but that non-Muslim should convert into Muslim. That's one of the requirements that a lot of Muslims believe actually on that. So a lot of times, when you are dating, it's fine, but when it gets a bit serious and when you want to take it to the next level and you want to get married, and when the guy talks about it to the girl, so let's say if that girl's family is, let's say, Christian, and it's not easy for everyone to change their religion, right?
Yeah.
So if the guy asks her, like, can you, like, if you want to get married, you have to convert your religion, and at that time, there are some conflicts too. So
Of course.
of course, while dating, there definitely can can be issues too, but especially I feel like the religion comes at that point when you take it to the next level.
When you're dating, it's like, it's all good, right?
Yes, I feel like that. Again, it depends on person to person.
Person to person.
Yeah.
What about Indians? Yeah.
Okay, so religious wise, like I'm Hindu and my husband is Catholic. So we have like different religion, but it again, like I follow my religion, he follow his own religion. He goes to church, I go church with him, and I go to temple or gurdwara here, and he goes sometimes with me. So we respect each other religion. So again, it doesn't matter like in a relationship. Like if you respect each other's feelings and emotions, so these things are just very small things. Like,
That's very intriguing because even among Koreans themselves, between Koreans, I've seen a lot of people on dating apps especially, or like just up front saying that I don't want to date Christians. I don't want to date Catholics. I don't want to date anyone religious in general. So they're even like filtering among Koreans. So I couldn't imagine like with different religions clashing. So that's very interesting how you like make that happen and possible. Yeah.
But again, like even though I've said that, I know some people, and again, like I was saying, it depends on person to person. There are some couples too who let other person choose their religion, again their partner, spouse especially. So there are some cases like that too.
Okay. If you're talking about like dating or marriage terms, what do you think is the biggest difference between your culture, your country's like customs or habits with Korea?
I think, are we talking about the ceremony?
Yes, ceremonies or just going on dates or whatever.
Okay. So firstly, when you're dating, going on dates, I don't think it is as open to date in India, like openly compared to Korea. Because, in Korea, you will see couples and like you'll see even high schoolers and middle schoolers just going on a date. They're a couple and it's very normal and it's open and they're doing cute things together. But in India, it's not really normal to do that. It's not common to openly date because of the society. It's kind of considered a taboo. And also like a lot of the children, they also get educational pressure from their families. So the parents say that, no, focus on your academics, don't date. So even if they are dating somebody, it's very private. Yes, low key. They try to privatize it and they just try to meet like in hidden spots where nobody will find them. Because even in a society where we are living, there might be people who know your parents. And they will come and tell your parents. So based on that, you have to be very secretive about it. So that is a big dating cultural difference.
Okay.
Yeah, in Korea it's very open. Like, you tell your parents, okay, you have boyfriend or girlfriend. It's very cool with them. But in India, it's not like
okay.
It's not okay. People hide these things. They date like
So just to make sure, you were talking about students in general, but like even after you're like 20 or adults, like you could go on a date to a restaurant together, right? No?
Yeah, but still,
sometimes not. But in that case, like if you are going on a date with them, it's considered better when you guys are looking at marriage in the long run. Like it is considered more acceptable.
Okay.
If you've been together for really long and you're probably like fiance and just in the long run, you're looking towards like being together for long.
So my family doesn't know like how many guys I have dated. Or they don't know anything about my dating life and about my husband. Like I told them like after dating for 3 years, when I was very serious, okay, I'm gonna marry this guy. Then only I told them. Before that, no. Like it depends upon family to family. Some families are super cool. Then they tell. But yeah, mostly the dating is very like a hidden kind of thing.
Wow. Okay.
But yes, I agree. There are families that are completely okay with it as well.
And what are your feelings when you see like this overly over the top kind of dating culture in Korea? Like, everyone's like hugging in the streets and like
there is a FOMO. Like I mean in Korea, like the couples look so cute. They do this public display of affection. So even though I'm with my husband, sometimes I feel like jealous, like seeing these young couple doing this these cute things. So in Korea, it looks very cute.
And I imagine you're in Shincheon, like that's where the most things happen. So
I am single by choice, but sometimes looking at the couples really makes you feel lonely.
Me too.
It really makes you feel lonely because you feel like you also want somebody out there to support you as a partner, but you don't get that. It's I will say like Korea is a country
of couples. Like
Yes.
if you don't have a partner, a boyfriend or girlfriend, oh my god, I mean, I can't even imagine how lonely it would be.
Yeah.
Because seeing other couples, like it's
Everyone.
already you are in foreign land, but seeing other couples, oh my god, like it feels like dying.
I don't understand why they have to like do back hugs in the
I don't
escalators
understand.
and like
Yeah, to make other people jealous.
yeah.
And then like finding a partner definitely is a bit difficult, and then you have to do, let's say, the cute things like wearing the same outfit, remembering each other's birth, not even birthday, like your 100th day, your 500 days, and like they celebrate these
hundreds and hundreds. Yeah.
So you have to remember those things. And
Okay, so I was saying to them, like, if you want to marry someone or like to be in a very serious relationship, so I feel like a person should go with the partner to a trip. Because trip is a place where you get to know about the person really well. You get to know, you show all the kinds of emotions on the trip, and not just a one-time trip. Because if you go on a one-time trip, then it will be all like romantic, good ones.
Yeah.
But on the second trip, you will really get to know. Because on the trips there are different kinds of situations happen. Like
let's make it like a Korea Pizza Club dating rule. So 3 times, and then you go on a trip, and then you decide.
my advice is trip.
Actually, though, like I have to rebut that because I want to like give some caution to the international viewers out there. If a Korean guy asks you to go on a trip, that guy has some evil mindsets behind that.
Yes.
And
Yeah, that's true.
there's usually a purpose to going on a trip.
But girls are no less.
Oh,
Man,
of course.
like-
I mean, if it's mutual,
Both
like
sides.
That's after 3 dates, then you ask, and if they agree, then
No,
okay.
I feel like for the marriage, like if you want to, finalize
Marriage?
a boy for marriage, like, okay, this is the guy I want to marry, but definitely go on 2-3 trips, because in that trip you'll get to know all the moods of the person.
Yeah. But just beware of those Korean guys
Yeah.
who
That's a
are
red
obsessed with
Just
going on
beware
trips.
of all Korean guys.
Beware of Tinder as well. Beware of
If a guy is overly saying like, oh, we should go on like to Namiseom, or we should go to Gapyeong, Chuncheon, and like there's a nice jacuzzi there. I could go BBQ, whatever.
And if the Korean boys, I have heard it, okay? So, because it has not happened with me, but I have heard if a Korean boy says, Kachi, what do you call that? The lamer mog.
Yeah.
So, no.
You guys really
like
say
the
that
rules
these
are-
days?
No,
Yeah,
they don't
because
say
I
don't
that.
say that.
It's like a very old.
Now
very
it's
old.
Nabi Poro Kalle.
Yeah.
What is Nabi?
Butterflies.
Butterfly.
And
So-
so there's like this K-drama called Nevertheless, and in that, like, the male lead, he is like a red flag in the K-drama, not the person, just the character.
Yeah.
So he tells the girl, like, do you want to go see my butterflies? He does have butterflies at home, but
Okay.
his intentions are completely different than actually just seeing butterflies.
Yeah, so it's
We are too
either
old for this.
yeah, it's either do you want to go see butterflies, or it's do you want to go see my cat?
Yeah. Oh.
And the funny meme is like once a guy says, "Do you want to go see my cat?" and the girl's like, "Yeah, I really love cats." And you go home and you see and there's no cat. Like, where's your cat? And the guy says, "Meow."
Yeah.
I'm the cat. Yeah, that is so
I'm gonna
creepy.
go see my cat.
So be aware.
Yes, be aware. No trips spontaneously. Be careful on dating apps,
Right.
and no hongdae and clubbing areas.
And even if you go on trips, always have like a ticket back. Always reserve a ticket back, because the guys will drag on time and like wait until like 10 p.m., 11 p.m. and say like, oh my God, there's
It's
no
so
tickets
late.
back.
Okay, guys, so you are telling the audience like what not to do, but
Yeah.
please tell what to do. Then how to make a Korean oppa? You have to tell them.
I just always say like, dating apps, it's good, it's convenient, but not the best people. Like
No.
probability
Yeah, dating
wise.
apps are not.
So as Yukta said, just meeting through friends and like meeting
Naturally
in natural
meeting them.
settings. That's the higher probability of meeting good quality people. And also, as Majid says, like language exchange clubs or communities. That's like a healthy, constructive purpose, right? So you get to know them there, and then you build something from there. So that would be recommendable, yeah. But just beware of those
And
guys.
I want to discuss I don't know, it's a part of like the audience, like the people have that image of like Korean oppas, which
Oh my
they
God.
see in the dramas. Like how much you are that.
Me?
Yeah, because you're Korean. So I want to ask you, how much you are like that? Are you Korean oppa? Which
First
they
of
show
all,
in-
I'm not Chaunu. I don't I'm like the
actor.
celebrity. I'm not BTS.
Okay.
I don't look that good. I don't dress that well. I don't do like massive skincare
I
routines
think
or
you
anything.
do dress well though.
No, you're
And your skin
flattering
is
me.
glowing. I can
Yes,
see that.
yes.
No. But I do think, like, to an extent, that Korean men in general have like basing manners.
Yeah, I agree.
Yeah. So I think that's like maybe educated or just like
I think it depends, right? So
Yeah.
like some of them are educated and some of them are genuinely
Right.
nice and they have the manners and like the bare minimum that
right.
they should be doing
Right.
towards like, you know, like as to be towards being gentle.
Uh-huh.
But I think there's still a lot of guys who want to play nowadays. Like
Especially
there's a lot
with
of
foreigners,
players.
yeah.
Especially with foreigners, yes. Because I know there's like a term for, they call it like riding the white horse.
Yeah.
For foreigners, like especially the races that come under white women.
Yeah.
And then even like exotic horses for
Right.
other nationalities. Horses, riding the horses, but exotic nationalities that come under other skin colors. So usually like it's only a certain area of like just playing around and just, you know, being casual
Yeah.
with foreigners. Like few people who find genuine connections, they are like very lucky to find somebody who they love and have that bond with.
Right.
I'm sorry, but I feel like sometimes people criticize Korean oppas, let's say, a lot. But I guess it's generalized. It's general thing. You cannot judge. You cannot think a society is based on their dramas.
Right.
So
Yes.
And also-
definitely, it's not only about Korean oppas
Yeah.
or Korean guys. Like wherever you want to go, just seeing their dramas and thinking like the whole community, the whole society works like that way. It does not happen like that.
Yeah.
That's a common sense. But I do feel like Korean people's dressing sense, as you see in the dramas, it's gonna be like that. The way they dress, the way they take care of their skin, and a lot of things apart from their relationship or apart from their behavior or
Yeah.
attitude. A lot of things are
Yeah,
similar.
so I've been with some foreigner girlfriends before too, and I was shocked because they were shocked at my attitude and that I thought was just basing manner.
Yes.
Like, for example, just walking the street when a car comes, like put the woman into the inside, or when they enter a car, like put a hand over their head so they don't bump into it, or like
I truly agree with you. Like,
put
because
like seat belts on for them and stuff like that. And they were like, "Oh, this is so lovely," and I'm like,
Yeah,
"What?
yeah, this is true,
I've been
actually.
doing this my whole life. Like, it's nothing." Yeah.
I strongly agree with that, because many people ask me like, what's the difference between Indian men and this Korean man? And I will say that like I strongly feel that Korean men have basic manners, which I don't know, which I haven't seen in Indian men, sorry to say, but like Korean men know how to treat their girl well. Very small things for Korean people. It's very small thing, like opening the door
Yeah.
of the car, doing
Yeah,
small things.
setting the knives and forks
So
and
for us,
tissues.
it's like it impresses. Like
Yeah, that,
for you, it's basic. Maybe I don't know, because you are seeing the dramas or
right.
like these things you learn from there. But for us, it's a big thing. This attracts us. Like
and
it's so
that's a
impressive.
very fresh dynamic for Korean guys as well, because they're used to Korean girls, and Korean girls, I don't want to like generalize, but like since it's known as basing manners,
Yes.
they're used to it, and they're like, oh, if a guy does that, they're like, oh, it's basic etiquette. But like foreigner girls, they're like so like appreciating, and then
Yeah, this is true.
the guy feels really good, like, oh, am I doing really good?
Yeah. So when I was dating my husband, so he was always like you always are, even though I give you small thing, you are so like
Yeah.
thankful, but like other Korean girls are not.
Right,
like,
right.
And I have seen like in the relationship, like Korean men and women, like it's always the boy is doing much for the girl. It's not vice versa. I've seen like men are, giving flowers, men is
Yeah.
doing something, and the girls are not that reciprocating in that way. So yeah, in that way also, like I think Korean men are like feel this difference dating a foreigner.
And one thing about like Korean dating is, I'm sure you know, but like people are pretty much obsessed with texting a lot.
Yeah, yes.
And communicating. They can't leave their other partner for like 5 minutes alone. So you always have to check up every 1 hour, and you have to ask like, what did you eat for dinner? Like, what are you gonna do for tonight? Like, what are your plans for
And
tomorrow?
sending photos of food.
Yeah, all that kind of stuff.
That's too much.
Yeah, a lot of foreigners see that as suffocating. What is the case for your countries?
Calling.
calling.
Mostly we
Yes.
believe in calling, like calling our partner, boyfriend, girlfriend,
Video
whatever.
calling.
But not, I mean, messages also important, but Korean people more into messages than calling. But we are, Indians are like more like late time calling. Like,
late
time
like
calling.
talking to your partner in the night time for long time, like 2-3
Yeah.
hours.
That's romantic.
Like the telecommunication companies, let's say the Korean, they have SKKT. Like in Pakistan, these telecommunication companies, they have special packages for night times for calling, like
What?
from 12 a.m. to 6
And you
a.m.
know,
What?
Like that.
What?
like
Because
in-
of the call?
A lot of people call.
Dating
with you.
calls?
And
Wow.
you know, they fall asleep while talking to their boyfriend, like in the night.
Oh, that's so
Because
That's so
sweet.
sweet. Yes.
It's very common.
And sometimes, like, yeah, they sleep on call together.
Yes.
It's very cute.
Wow.
So nighttime call is important for the couples.
Similarly, I think even not only in like dating and friendships, also just like social life.
Social life.
It's more common back home to just call up your
Call.
friends
Mm.
and talk to
Messages.
them, and than just messaging, because you know from the text you can't really understand how the person
emotion.
is feeling
Oh.
and how deep the text is or not. So it's just better to like call to catch up. So that's why even when I'm here, whenever I'm talking to my Indian friends, we just call and we speak for like 2 hours, 3
Wow.
hours
Yes.
on call. But like as a text, like we all sound so dry on text.
I'm glad you brought that up, because that's a huge problem and conflict point among Korean couples as well. Because like by text, like your feelings and
You don't
emotions.
understand.
So people overuse emojis and a lot of cute like squiggly animation characters. I'm pretty sure you've seen that with your
Exactly.
Korean
Exactly.
friends, and they overly use like
Yes.
ha 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 and all that kind of stuff. So
Yes.
even when you're in dating terms, like if your normal language is like hi haha like hi kuku, and then you suddenly stop doing that, you know that your girlfriend's pissed at you, or like your guy's like something's disturbing. So
I'm a very dry texter. Like I'll just say yes, okay, okay. So sometimes my friends would be concerned, like, Yukta, are you mad at me? I said no.
No.
I just don't know what to say.
And I heard like some people even break up on the messages.
oh yeah,
That's so
Oh, God.
weird. Like, how can you
That's
even
so
message
I've
somebody?
done that a couple times. Yeah.
I feel like you should call and see the emotions of the person rather than just, messages.
Yeah, and people take like, it takes like 2 hours
There-
to
there is-
draft up the last message, like, I like you, but like this is not working because these reasons. I'm so sorry. And then like you put it through like what do you call it, grammar reader, and you put it again.
David must be thinking how many girls I broke up on the messages.
No. Yeah.
Before we go on, a special thanks to the sponsor of this episode, Naked Soul, bringing Korea into your hands with authentic, curated, made in Korea products you can't get on Amazon. They have fast global shipping, and right now, as of April 1st, they are having a limited sale on super high quality BTS D Festa photo books, celebrating BTS Jimin's successful solo album release. So go check it out along with other hip Korean products you can't find anywhere else other than Naked Soul.
Boss ass.
Yeah, that's very cool.
One nice thing I learned from the Korean texting culture is, there is this special character that with this shape. How you call
the
it?
tilde. Yeah.
La la la.
Yeah.
So I use it so often these days. Like, in case I want to be polite, or if I would just want to write casually. Like, even
Right.
when I say hi, even on my Instagram stories, I always prefer writing that because it makes
Right.
it sound.
Like it's like cheerful,
Cheerful,
it's like
yeah,
happy
like that.
and
That's actually a
jolly.
very like Korean nuance there, but like I don't think a lot of people know about it. But like if you want to be formal in business settings, just use like the dots,
Dots.
Dots,
the
yes.
periods. If you're among your friends or like someone friendly, use the
Tilde.
This
tildes.
wave thing.
Yeah.
Tilde.
Tilde, you call that tilde?
Yeah.
And you know how you have like 좋아해요. Like you can just be like 좋아해요.
Yeah, put an extra there.
sound,
Right. And nowadays, this like, what do you call it? Punctuation, like texting
Yeah.
language is
And
kind
very
of
short form.
Slangs.
The short
Yes,
form of
like iced Americano.
yeah, but it's kind of getting tiring for me because
It's hard
nowadays
to
We
keep
are
up.
old. We are old.
yeah, like nowadays everyone's just started to use exclamation marks. So at the end of every single dry message, like you just say ne, right? Like okay, yes or okay.
But you
They're
know,
like ne.
If someone would use an exclamation mark with me, I'd be like,
It's rude.
Why are you
Yeah,
like,
so-
are you screaming? Are you
Yeah,
shouting through the text?
exactly.
Like,
Yeah,
what's
foreigners
going
don't
on?
get it, but nowadays, even in business settings, like more than the period, people use exclamation marks again, like 알겠습니다, like 네 뵙겠습니다, like stuff like that. I'll see you tomorrow, like
That's
stuff
very
like
interesting.
Yeah, so it's getting tiring, and if you don't use that, people are like, oh, is he kind of
But
like?
you know how you said 네 뵙겠습니다? I would think he's saying 네 뵙겠습니다, like screaming and shouting.
So that's a cultural difference too,
Yeah.
because I was talking with my American friend about the tildes, and they actually thought the tildes were sarcasm, like
Really?
being very
Oh.
like salty, like, oh yeah, okay, you know what I mean, right? Like that kind. We have different perceptions of how we use the language. So when they were texting with Korean friends, they was like, okay, and then is he mad at me or something? So very different perspectives. Yeah, but that's very interesting. Okay, but have you had any like difficulties texting Korean friends here, or like,
No, I
yeah.
think it's if you learn the slangs and the colloquials, like if you know like to add like a B below just to be cute, or like an
nep,
or like
ning.
ning, or like the thing that Majid talked about,
Yeah.
and like the you know the TT emoticon, like
yeah.
like
The
that.
Crying.
Like if you know those slangs, like it's just very easy because you can express yourself so the
Yeah, exactly. So understanding text language is actually going to boost your relationship with a
Yes.
friend here. It's kind of
Yes.
tiring, but once you get used to it, it's kind of okay.
But that's a big difference. Like Korea has messages, we have calls.
Calls.
Yeah.
And personally, like even because we're on the topic of text, I find like Kakao Talk so fun.
Yeah,
because
it's
I
fun.
find
It's
so
fun.
they
much
have
fun.
so many emoticons to choose from.
Nah.
WhatsApp is like
It's
Boring.
little
It's so
boring.
boring. It's
Once
so
you
boring.
start using Kakao, then yeah, WhatsApp is boring.
WhatsApp is boring.
like you know every few weeks I'm like buying a new Kakao emoji and I'm like, oh, I'm gonna
I mean,
use this with my
you can
friends.
just send gifts to
Gifts,
your
so,
loved
yeah.
ones, and you can watch, you can read news, and like everything is on Kakao Talk. So
Yes.
it's such a useful. I hope our viewers know. So in Korea, mostly they hardly 1 or 5% would use Kakao Talk.
Yeah.
WhatsApp.
Everyone uses
Kakao
Kakao.
Talk,
Yeah.
which is
And Kakao, like, it's the big conglomerate. Like how everybody uses Google, people are using Naver and Kakao
Yeah, Korea
here.
has their own application, their own things.
Right. It's very weird. I don't know why.
But I like it. Like,
I
I like
kind
it.
of
Yeah.
I like
respect it, you know, because
Yes.
that's like privatizing your own country.
Right, right.
And you're
Prioritizing
not
their own
really-
country and like knowing their own like how can I say, like for example Google Maps doesn't work that well in Korea,
Yes.
but like Naver Map works
Kakao
well.
Map, yeah.
Depending
Yeah.
on your technology, so makes you self-sufficient.
So
Right.
so Kakao Talk has the emotions which are like the Korean emotions,
Yeah.
yeah, which I think in WhatsApp it cannot be expressed that well,
Yeah.
but in
All those emojis.
Yes.
Yeah, so many.
I agree with this.
Yeah. So while you were living here, though, I'm sure that you kind of longed for a connection back home with your friends back home as well. Like, how did you sustain that while you were here?
Interestingly, you see, I'm in touch with all of my really close friends back home, and because I lived in different cities, I have like really close friends from each city.
Yeah.
And I've had friends who've come here on exchange programs, and then they went back. That we keep in touch. We talk every day, and we video call every week.
Wow.
And if somebody's really busy, if they're having exams or like they're very busy, we have like a video call every month to catch up on just connections. So but like sometimes my friends tell me that it's possible because it's me, because I make sure like I give them the time as well, and they make time for me. So like to maintain those long-term friendships or even distance relationships, you really have to like see your schedules, and you gotta make sure you stay in touch with them and you keep on checking on them,
Yeah.
and they will do the same, and it's gonna reciprocate.
And at least the time zones aren't that
not
different.
that,
with-
not that
yeah.
3.5
Thankfully.
hours.
Yes,
Right, right,
thankfully.
right.
And I think it's very important to be connected to your roots, to be connected to your like people, especially living in a foreign land. Otherwise, it's
Yes.
difficult to settle down. So yeah, like how Yukta said, like I also talk to my family every day and like once in a week with my close friends. And I have good friends, luckily, Indian good friends in Korea. So with
Same
whom
here.
I meet. So it's very important to be connected with them.
Right.
Yes.
Right.
Okay, my experience is a bit different. So of course I talk with my family. I talk with them every day. My younger brother and my dad. But with friends, I like of course we have to talk to them, but I feel like my life in Korea is so busy. Once you move here, like I mean, just like everyone says, everything is pali because it's a very busy culture here. I'm working, I'm studying these days, and then I have to work at night, and I'm participating in so many other programs. So it gets difficult for me to take out time to talk to my friends on weekly or a monthly basis. So I just would send them a WhatsApp message once in a while. That's it. I don't talk.
That's just your way of like, keeping the effort, and it's fine.
Right. So like even though you're physically here and you're trying to make new social groups with new friends and relationships, but you still stay connected with your homeland and family and friends over there through video calls and stuff.
I feel not just connected with your family, connected with your culture is very important. Like back in my country, I didn't value my culture that much, but here I respect it so much. Like, doing the small things, like even in my house, like, playing the, how can I say, spiritual songs. Maybe I was not doing that in my country that much, but here I'm doing like, listening my own music or doing small things which my parents used to do in our home, but I'm doing it here. So yeah, being connected to your roots is very important.
Yeah. Speaking of roots and culture, have you ever tried to introduce your culture to Korean friends? And did you get a response from that? Like, how was it?
In terms of food, I did. Food I did, like, because see, Korean people think like we eat only curry. So I try to, tell them like the variety of, first of all, we don't call it curry in our country. There are different names. Okay, so I told them like we don't eat just naan, or first of all, naan is not made in the home.
It's not even common for every day.
So we eat something else. We eat rice or we eat the chapati. So naan is also like just a restaurant thing. So I try to tell them more about my country, my culture. Yeah.
For me, indirectly, I'm a cultural ambassador of Pakistan.
Yeah, you
like
are.
24/7. Whoever I'm gonna meet. And if I leave a good impression to them, and if they ask me where are you from, and if I tell them I'm from Pakistan, he or she will always remember, oh, this person I met from Pakistan. Probably other people in Pakistan are like that. So in that way, like, of course, I always try to respect the laws here, respect the cultures here. Every time I meet locals, especially, like I always prefer to leave a good impression, help them as much as I can. Apart from that, I've given some cultural presentations in some schools where I was teaching about Pakistan to kids over there and telling them how beautiful the country is, how lovely the people are, and how the delicious food we have in this region also. So that way I have done that in schools.
For me and like a lot of people, Indians that I'm friends with here, we have like tried to introduce our culture not only like through the food, but because everyone comes from a different background. They have different festivities in India. So to celebrate Diwali, sometimes they will call over Korean friends and we'll just introduce them to the traditions and the puja that we do during Diwali. Or for example, like every year, Korea there's an Indian organization that holds Holi. So it's the festival of colors, and you just throw colors at each other and have fun. That's the fun aspect of it. So you like I have introduced my Korean friends to that as well, and they quite enjoyed it. And like a lot of my Korean friends are very intrigued when they learn new things about India, because what they know is so different from what more is to know.
Yeah.
Right. So I really recommend you guys, if you come to Korea, don't be afraid that you're the minority here. Like, because Koreans are the majority here, you might think, oh, we need to follow the majority's culture and all that kind of stuff. But actually, because Korea is such a homogenous society, and a lot of Koreans, even if they travel abroad much, they still are kind of like trapped inside their own culture. They would actually, it's like a fresh breath of air. Like when you wander out, and like we really appreciate if you have foreigner friends coming from different countries trying to share cultures with us. So like, for example, I had a Muslim friend saying like, oh, do you want to try the Ramadan together? And I was like, yeah, I'm down. Like I tried it. It was like, awfully painful for me, but it was a very fun experience. And I got to learn about the customs and the religion and all that kind of stuff. I would love to be invited for Diwali and all that kind of stuff. And
we'll call you.
I had a lot of like, not like physical friends here, but on my channel, a lot of people were like, check out this music video or this Bollywood movie, and I ended up loving so much of them. So it's very like, you don't even get the minimum exposure if you don't like introduce it to your friends here. So yeah, like I think introducing your own culture to Korean people is just gonna strengthen your relationships and like bond
And
it.
like it's like a two-way thing, because sometimes even the Korean friends, they introduce us to their culture. So for example, I had nothing to do on Chuseok this one time while I was here, so my friend invited me to her
Oh, that's so
place
nice.
for Chuseok. So I visited and I made like songpyeon with
Yeah.
her family and like with like everybody, and we did the bao and everything, and it was so nice and so
Right.
sweet.
Right. That's so sweet. So I always love seeing like my friends, especially like in international groups, they do potluck parties. And that's one of the fun things. Potluck parties.
Yes.
So like everyone from different
Bring their
countries
own-
bring their own traditional food or like their signature food and share. And that's so much fun. I didn't know there was so many like existing food out there that I didn't heard of it and taste so good. So
And I feel like Koreans are very open to that. I mean, I have
Yeah.
never felt like, okay, Koreans are closed nature in that. They love to experience different things, different cultures. So whenever I try to show them my culture, yeah, they are very open and very cool about it.
So yeah, go for it and be aggressively just promote your culture and like share it with Koreans.
And then that's why I always say, like, right now, like you were saying, it's a homogeneous society. So I sometimes feel like I'm a star here. I'm a celebrity. You know, like wherever you go, they have not met a lot of Pakistanis. So whenever they ask you about Pakistan, like they get so curious about Pakistan, to know me, to know my culture, and other foreigners too. So right now, it's a good opportunity for all of you guys. Also, if you are planning to come to Korea, you know, like you can meet a lot of cool people. You can tell them about your country, about your religion, and eventually, of course, making friends is a bit difficult. But eventually, I'm sure you can all end up making good friends, or maybe find a Korean oppa or Korean nuna or whoever you're looking for.
I have a question though, because I've seen an interview from a foreigner about like dating in Korea, and I think she was kind of like not complaining, but a little bit disappointed about the dating scene here, because not because the people are boring, but because, as Majid said, you are such a like from a unique country, like people don't know much about your culture. So obviously, when they meet, they're gonna ask the same questions to you over and over again, like what's your country like? Like what do you eat there? Like do you this, that, you know, the stereotypical questions. And it always happens over and over again when you're on the first date with a new person or just with friends as well. Like do you get irritated by that, or like how do you feel about that?
I haven't been on that many dates, but if I were to just like take it from my aspect, I don't think it's something I would be irritated about, because I honestly love telling people about my country and my culture, and even like clearing any misconceptions that are there and helping them know more about contemporary Indian society as to what the stereotypes were like way before.
Right.
Plus, like, because it's Korea, the knowledge about India is still towards the stereotypes that was there, because India is a developing country. And that's why, like, if somebody were to ask me this again and again, repetitively, different people, I wouldn't get irritated about it. Like, yes, there would be times where I would, you know, like think that, oh yeah, there's a lot of people who still don't know.
Right.
But at the same time, I get to be there and explain them that I can tell, like, that my culture is actually like this, and these are the other things that you might not know about that you would love about my culture. So because of that, I think it's not something to be that upset about. It's actually quite nice to tell people.
Okay, that's a very good mindset, because like, I mean, like if you live here long enough and that kind of experience piles up year after year, like the person on the video was saying, like, I want to just be treated as a genuine person. Like I don't want to be like an ambassador of my country. I want him to ask about what my favorite movies are, or like what I do as a hobby, not about my country and stuff. So
But eventually, like, if you're going to date somebody seriously, they will do their best to understand the country you're coming from, the culture and its traditions. If your state has some personal traditions, they will try their best to be with you. And like you said, love transcends. So it will be difficult, but it won't, you know, be a barrier. So in that case, like, I wouldn't necessarily say that not all Koreans do not put in the effort. Like, some really do put in the effort, and it really depends on what kind of a person you're meeting, where you're meeting them, how you're meeting them and how long you've been together and what is your relationship like. Is it casual? Is it something more serious? Do you want it to be something fruitful?
Okay.
And then like now, like we were talking about, some people would use partner just to learn language. So again, like I'm saying, there might be some cases like that, but from what my friends said, they told me like it started with the intention to learn language, and then they end up becoming
but
boyfriend.
having such kind of intention, like, because I have seen some videos in which foreigners were, the girls were saying, who were from English speaking country, they were complaining like about their dating experience in Korea. Like the guys have that kind of intention. Okay, if we make a girlfriend who's speaking
it's
English,
quite disappointing.
and so having that intention is also like something is not good.
It's hurtful to the person who's genuinely liking them for who they are, whereas like there's another motive behind dating them, like for the experience or for
if
the
that's
language.
your only motive, then definitely it's
But I guess
lacking. But if you end up learning language, it's like in Korean they say like il sok iju,
killing two birds with one stone.
So I mean it's a plus point, but if that's the only intention, then you should be clear from the start, and you should not date just because you want to learn a language, I guess.
Yeah, I guess like if you first start with the intention of wanting to learn a language and meet the person, and then your emotions develop from that naturally, then it's like a good relationship, healthy relationship. But if you're just like actually using the person, to just like learn a language, it's a very thin line there, but it depends on like the dynamics and all that kind of stuff. So yeah, just beware of Korean F-boys. And,
be careful. Because like I said, yes, there are positive experiences, but you have to be careful of F-boys because sadly, like everybody everywhere else, the population of fuckboys, like F-boys, is higher than the population of like genuine men, because all the genuine men are taken, or they are married, or they're like in a very committed relationship, or they are probably crushing on somebody else.
Otherwise, how can such a beautiful our Indian girl is single in Korea? Like, where are the men, man?
Where are they? I don't know, but at this point, I'm single by choice.
I was asking Yukti, like, how come you are single in Korea?
Can we ask you that? Like, have you got approached or DM'd or?
So I think that I do not get approached as often as people would think I am getting approached, but I am also like single by choice because I am here to focus on my academics, and I have my modeling career, and then I have a dog. I have to give time to even my family and friends back home and in Korea. So in this entire schedule, it's really hard to fit another person. And because as long as I would definitely love to have somebody, I'm not like against a relationship. It's just that I would not want something that's casual. I would want somebody long term, and someone who's genuine and who genuinely wants to get to know me and understands me on an emotional level. And that emotional connection is so hard to find, and because I'm doing so much at the same time within 24 hours in a day, it kind of gets draining to put in effort into something that may be hurtful to me. So that's why,
and to the
like,
other person as well.
And to the other person as well. Like, I do not want to hurt anybody around me. So I think that's why I think people either assume that I'm dating somebody, or they assume that I'm too busy.
Looking too beautiful is also,
or they get intimidated.
So this is the case with her. I think people are not approaching because she's too beautiful. So people feel like, okay, she's taken. And here we have a handsome guy who is also single. Unfortunately,
another handsome guy who's also single.
Slide.
And they are super taken.
I am taken.
Slide in my DMs. Okay, yeah, that was a fun way to wrap it up. I think we've talked a lot today. Like, it's an hour point right now, but like once again proving that Desi people talk a lot.
I think we might need an episode 3.
So now you understood like why do we prefer call than messages?
Yes,
because we want to talk.
You can't text it all.
You can't text. It's your fingers are aching and hurting.
It will be like finger exercise.
By texting, it would have taken us 5 hours or 6 hours to talk the whole thing. So
that's so funny. Okay. So to actually wrap it up, just give us your like ultimate advice, or like one line summary of advice to people who come to Korea and want to build relationships, healthy relationships with friends or boyfriend, girlfriends? So yeah.
For healthy relationships, whether it's friends, I think you can make in any circumstances. You just go out there and like get to know people, like how Majid said and like how Neha said, like you can just get to know them via different methods. And when it comes to relationships, I think that first of all, the Korean oppa thing, the nationality doesn't matter.
Yes.
The person's character and personality matters, and whether it goes along with yours matters. And if you really want to date somebody seriously, it's better to just meet them naturally. Or if you want, like a friend of yours can introduce you to them instead of going to places like Hongdae or like clubs in Gangnam or Apgujeong or even Itaewon. It's better to just meet them naturally, because people who are going to those clubs are genuinely looking
Have a
for
purpose.
like they're looking for something
Quick love,
like for a very short term thing, like maybe even a night. They won't be people who you will be dating. And actually, even like friends who I've had going to Hongdae, they said that, oh yeah, we go to Hongdae, but we know that we're never going to see them again. This is what the guys have told me. Like, we don't look at them from the same lens. We would look at somebody in a different setting and we would be crushing on. So if you genuinely want a good relationship, just give it time and just meet them naturally. And even the dating apps, be careful. Because dating apps can be dangerous. You can be catfished. You can even end up meeting a psychotic killer. There are so many cases. And dating apps are like, even dating apps over here have become a place for hookups and one night stands and something that's more casual than genuine. So meet people naturally.
Yeah, probability wise, that's more
More
tend to
likely,
happen.
yes.
Yeah, so I want to add on to that. Don't get deceived by looks. Like there are really nice looking Korean guys out there, well dressed and like with good cars and all that kind of stuff. They'll try to like seduce you with their beauty and stuff. But usually those I'm not saying all of them are, but like usually they have like side chicks. Like, you know, they're playing with other girls. And
just to add to that, sorry for speaking so much, there's like like for example the dating apps, you know how it gives you an option to choose what you're looking for, but you don't need to believe that, because sometimes people say they're looking for long-term relationships, the good-looking guys who are like wealthy, but they just want something short-term and not serious at all. Like, because they'll text you and you'll get disappointed. So be careful.
So don't get deceived by looks. Don't prioritize looks. But just look into the genuine person and himself and the personality and how he or she acts with you, like what kind of conversations flow. If you feel comfortable with the
chemistry,
if there's chemistry, you'll feel it. You'll feel if this person is genuine or he just wants to sleep with you or whatever. So
prioritize personality.
I think it's good to have some kind of walls up and like slowly get to know the person.
I think you guys have given enough advice. So I will give the advice to people who are actually in the relationship or starting a relationship. I'll say, because from my own experience and having a good relationship, first of all, love does not happen overnight. You have to actually grow it. You have to grow yourself and the other person also grow in a relationship. And in a relationship, it's not about only receiving. It's about giving also, which we have done. Okay, so it's not how much the other person is doing for you, and it's also matters like how much you are doing for the person. And it's the small sacrifice you do for the person which, you know, helps in long term. So I know self-love is important, but at the same time you have to love also unconditionally and without any without
compromise,
without like selfishness, without this is my advice. So you have to grow with the relationship.
Okay, nice advice. Okay, last Majid.
Okay, so I guess we talk mostly for the girls, like what to do and what to do.
For the guys.
I'm sure we have male viewers too, right?
I hope so.
Like 10%. But they matter. They matter because I'm male too. So okay,
but let me first talk for the girls. Like I don't want you to have so bad views about dating apps. You know, again, like I'm sure you are grown-ups. You know what is right, what is wrong. You know what you want and what you don't want, right? Dating apps usually cannot force you to go and meet that one. Dating apps does not mean that you have to go on a date. It does not mean that you have to go on a trip or go on, like, you have to keep on being in a relationship. It's one of the initial, it's an opportunity for you to meet people.
Yes.
Right? So you can meet people in real life, they can lie to you. You can meet on dating apps and they can still lie to you. So it's a first initial meeting point. Let's say Bumble, I feel like there it's a good Bumble and
He's
Hello Talk.
suggesting good application.
Really?
And because
I need to
No
try
down,
it.
no down.
I need to
girls
download right
are
now.
the one.
Bumble, he's saying
I do
Bumble.
agree Bumble is better
Bumble,
than
like,
Really?
girls are the
Okay.
one who actually
I feel
initiate
like because some
conversation.
people have said like it's more serious than
Wow.
Tinder.
Yeah,
Yeah,
but like,
and I
Wow.
mean, girls are the one who initiate a conversation.
Really?
Yes.
Yes.
And I feel like we should not always say the boys are like that, boys are like that. Girls are also like that. Okay,
Yes.
I mean,
so
again,
it's both
if
sides.
you, it's up to you what you're
Both.
looking for. So you know better what you're
Yeah,
looking
you
for.
should be intelligent
Yes.
enough. You should have a good character of judgment. Like you should judge people. You should know how to, like
Yeah.
what
Yeah.
person, what kind of intention other person is having.
So I would say use dating app as an opportunity to meet locals or whoever you want to,
Yeah.
and then, but like you have to be very smart enough to know
Yes.
the other person's intentions. And like David was saying, there are some red flags that you have to see. Like if he's asking you to go on a trips and then deliberately delaying it,
No
and then
trips.
like
Some
was
people
tough.
actually end up like meeting a very nice people through application,
Exactly,
through apps.
exactly.
Yes, I
So
agree.
you should be smart enough, to
use
filter
it-
out
Yeah,
that
filter
people.
out the
So I would say
people.
use it as an opportunity to meet local people or
Yes.
anyone as you want. And for boys, I would say Neha was saying some of the manners that Koreans have.
Yeah,
Generally,
true.
the boys,
Yeah,
if you
they have.
want to impress other girls, like I guess we all need to learn some of those.
Yeah, you
cool
should.
etiquettes.
I told you, no.
You should. I need to learn also, and that's I guess a good thing for other boys also. And I hope you guys end up meeting a good Korean friend or a good Korean partner or whoever you actually want to meet or date.
Yeah. Okay. Very neat. Yes. Thank you for all the advice. That was amazing. So I think our viewers will have a better understanding and have a nicer experience when they finally come to Korea and building relationships. So thank you all for the wonderful advice. It was amazing to have you guys here again.
So much fun.
So much fun for
So
real.
much
I
fun,
feel like
yes.
this episode is going to get even more views.
Yeah,
than
call
the
us
first
in
one.
for episode
Dating in
3.
Korea? What do we call it? Dating in Korea?
Yeah, I don't know.
think you
I'll
have to
figure
find out.
something
You
out.
have to find
Social
out.
life in Korea.
Social
Yeah,
I feel
social
like
life.
dating is more attractive than social life.
Right,
People are
so-
more interested in
Connections.
dating, no? Who
little
is
bit of
interested in
clickbait.
social life?
Forming connections,
Connections,
relations,
yeah,
and
yeah, yeah.
dating.
Do you want to date a Korean oppa? Watch our video.
Okay.
If you watch our video, you can find a Korean oppa.
Noted. Okay. I'll try to use that. But anyways, thank you again for coming to the Korean Pizza Club. I really enjoyed this conversation. And
Likewise.
yes.
Are we talking about pizza today?
No. We had jimtak, so that was enough for today.
Okay.
Okay, so thank you for coming
you so
again,
much.
guys. Just a quick shout out to our sponsors, Naked Soul. Check out the Buddha statue here. You can become more zen about yourself, and we have BTS photo books as well. Check them out. Authentic Korean products, and please give us 5-star reviews on Spotify and Apple Podcasts, and subscribe to the channel if you want more content like this. Please recommend what more topics we should talk about in the future.
And please like and subscribe our channel.
Yeah.
Episode 3,
and
guys.
send so
Episode
many comments. Okay, positive, negative, whatever. Just write.
And Neha will read them this time.
Yes,
I have one question before you end. A lot of people call you Neha D. What's that?
Neha, okay.
Oh,
so
these-
D means onni.
Like Didi,
okay,
yeah.
Okay.
We call like
Because
the full
I'm
form
so
is Didi.
old. What should I do? I'm so old. Everybody.
No,
No, they love you so much.
Oh,
It's
you
also-
know.
So they are respecting
They
me like
respect you.
yeah.
Yes.
onni.
They
okay,
respect you.
Yeah, I was
know?
curious. Like everyone
So
was
it's
like
like
Neha D.
Didi.
Yeah.
Didi. Didi short form
Sister.
is D.
Okay.
Yeah.
That's cute. That's
So
cute.
I think she's young. Everyone calls her Yukti or
Yuki.
Yuki.
Yuki. Yeah.
But I have had people call me Yuki D.
D?
And I'm like, my brother calls me Didi.
Okay. So yeah, go follow these DDs Ds on their
You don't call us
Instagrams.
D, okay?
Then you will be Ajushi, okay?
Ajashi. Yeah, I am Ajashi. Majid, do you think you're Ajashi?
No.
No, you're young. You're young.
Okay.
Both of you.
Okay, so yeah, thank you again, and we will see you guys in the next episode. Bye.
Bye.